Why don't I have my sound detected? How do I check my sound? Testing, 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 testing. 1 2 1 2 testing, testing. 1 2 testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Yo, 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 yo. We are just testing this. Not sure if this is working or what's going on. Scenes, landscape. I gotta play around with this some more. Testing, testing. Don't care about a reroll cycle. Don't care about that. Give me money. Tell me how beautiful I am. Let me know how much my live stream sucks. I guess I should be more over here. Is that what it is? Hello. Why can't this ever just like. There we go. There we go. I think that's better. All right. So here we are on TikTok Live. Just testing this out. Basically, anything goes. No holds bar. And, don't pick your nose and that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm just testing this out. I just got access to do lives. And this is all new to me. So, thanks, Full Court Locks. Thanks for joining the live here. This is my first one. I don't know. I do a little bit of everything. Of course, I don't have much on my bio, but I play games. I do HVAC and remodeling, handyman stuff, and hi, Cass. Thanks for joining. Um, I'm interested in gaming. I do Warhammer and board games. I play Call of Duty and role playing games and such. I also do a little bit of podcasting when I'm not so tired. And I could talk about a little bit of the occult. I could talk about ghost hunting. I can talk about some politics. I can talk about some universal stuff. Do you have any questions? Hey guys, hey in the chat. I can, I can talk about anything. We could talk about maybe some of your problems that you're having. Maybe you need some advice on some things. Maybe you need a second opinion. Anything like that. It's possible, and we can all figure it out, maybe. Or we could just, chit chat and whatnot. But really, I am just testing this right now. I just got live, so I really don't know how to totally go about this, what to map out. I got friends who always tell me I should do TikTok Live. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, if you got any questions for me, why do I look goofy? Maybe you like the lights in the back of my office here. Um, oh, speaking of my office, what you're seeing all back here, I did all this. This dry, just I haven't painted yet, but I did all this uh, by myself. I'm in my attic. My attic is my office. And hello, Champ. Hello, Kai. Hello, Fab. We got Ramos up in here. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I hope it's not too boring. I don't know how long I'm going to be on, but we'll see. But yeah. So I have all this here, all this drywall, everything else. I put up myself. It's still in the works. That's one reason why I haven't done any live streams specifically in this area. You can follow me at the Anomalous Radio Network, which is probably something I should put into my bio. The Anomalous Radio Network, podbean.com, where I discuss all those things from paranormal to everyday life and so on. And talk a little bit about, construction and whatnot. I did a recent rehousing of my tarantula and scorpion. I got a couple others that I plan on doing. And yeah, there's all sorts of things I could be doing on here, but given the way this is set up, I'm using my computer. Most people I know who do these lives, they use their phones, but I'm using my computer, so this is something new for me. Let's see. Look at this. David Kennedy here. Me, 23 male, and my girlfriend, 22, want to stream, but she calls me slurs when we play video games. Good idea? Probably not. It's probably funny, though. With me and my friends, we do joke around. Me and the wife tend to rag on each other. So it might be a fun thing. She's just kind of mean sometimes, and I don't know if I want to go public with our gameplay. Well, maybe. I mean, if you love her, you should discuss those things with her, obviously. But she thinks I'm embarrassed of her. Sometimes I'm embarrassed of my girl. She's loud. Sometimes she speaks before she thinks. And I tell her these things. And because I do my best to be open communication, our relationship works, even if it's going to start an argument. So I suggest, Mr. Kennedy, you're 23 years old. I am 42. I've had 2 long-term relationships among, one-night stands and whatnot. But my current relationship now with my mother of my kids, well, we've been together for 8 years. We have been on and off, but we've been together 8 years. My previous relationship was almost 14 years. So, yeah, I would suggest just be open to her, discuss those things, and see where that goes. If she feels offended, just maybe find some way to kind of soften the blow a little bit. Not saying don't sugarcoat it, but, soften the blow a little bit. And, see what she says. The first thing to do in any relationship is to have communication. So that is my advice to you. I don't know if you ever reply to that or anything. Hello, Mel and Autism Man. I wonder, Autism Man has the powers of autism, and does he share it with everybody? Or does he use it to blast his enemies away? Good advice. You encouraged me to talk to her about it. I'll let you know how it goes next live. Awesome. Yeah, I will try to do a live. I don't know how often I'll do these. We'll see. I'm actually surprised we're getting quite a bit of watchers right now. But yeah, I would try to do this more often, and I thank you for tuning in. Hey, thanks very much for all that. But yeah, most definitely, communication is key. Communication with everything. I'm not saying I'm the best at communicating, but I think a lot of our problems, from personal to work-related to societal, is all about how we communicate with each other, and probably communicate with ourselves. I think some people don't know how to look inward with a lot of things, and that's where a lot of personal things come into play. People are in denial, people are willfully ignorant, and some are they're just ignorant because they were never taught any better. So I think a huge part of it is communication. And like I said, I try to talk with my girl all the time. We just had a bit of a talk not too long ago where I recently was using a Lime scooter, and I was trying to avoid a put. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going through a puddle, but I was trying to avoid this guy that was at the bus stop. I'm in Chicago. People know I'm in Chicago. Hello from Illinois. Hello from Chicago, everybody. And not that it totally matters, but I'm also Mexican American. Race seems to be a big thing among the spheres lately, but I don't think that totally matters. Yeah, I had busted my knee. I was riding a Lime scooter trying to avoid this guy at the bus stop. I went through a puddle. Little did I know, or I should have guessed, that the puddle is a puddle because it's caved in somewhere. So there's probably a hole there or something. And I hit something, and I literally flew over the scooter. Uh, Half of my body on this side landed on the ground. The scooter wrapped around my leg, and then eventually fell on my leg, on my knee, which made it a sprain. I went on with the rest of my day until the next day, and it was horrible. The funny thing is, not the funny thing of me falling off a Lime scooter trying to avoid somebody, is that about a few months later, previously in January, I had was doing work at a customer's house doing some plumbing, and it was cold. It was one of those really cold weeks out here in Chicago, well, Illinois. It wasn't in Chicago where I was working, but I was in and out of the house grabbing some stuff. Had to go to the store, came back, and went to go grab something else, and I slipped a little bit. It wasn't as cold, but around 2 p.m. it started getting colder, and the ground started freezing. So I went outside, going to the driveway, and I slipped on my customer's driveway. Busted my knee really bad. That time was really bad. Huge. I posted some pics on my Facebook. You can find me, Justin Villarreal, on Facebook, and look for my thing. And scroll back, you might have some fun looking at some of my posts and whatnot. But I had busted my knee then, and then of course in, I think it was April, I ended up having that Lyme incident. And the worst thing out of that was December 2023. As I was explaining earlier, I do HVAC. So if anyone has any heating, cooling questions, maybe some questions about remodeling or handyman issues, or you got questions on how to deal with a home situation, I'll be able to help you with that as well. I haven't implemented it. I know I'm getting off of what I was saying, but I could do tarot readings. Like I said, I was saying earlier, I could get into occultism, some religious and spiritual stuff. I'm more of a armchair occultist, and I could probably answer some of your questions if you're interested in those things from that perspective. I'm not one of those hipster cult guys who are part of the Golden Dawn or something like that. I follow the beat of my own drum. But that's most definitely a discussion we can have and something we can have later on. I was doing some work downtown in Chicago, and I was about 15 feet in the air with a ladder. And I've been doing work at this place for a while, changing filters and stuff. Again, I work for myself, so this is my whole thing. And it's at an incline. The ladder is facing one way. And again, I've been up here changing filters and such, and I was trying to pull an inducer draft motor off because they were having an issue, and I wanted to inspect the inside of the furnace. And so as I'm pulling it, the vibration must have shook the ladder, and I fell and busted my face. I don't know if I could totally see. Let me get a little closer here. You see this bit of a scar here? I busted my face open. Messed up my whole half of my body, same side of my body that I fell in January and also in April. And yeah, that took a while to recover from. And then I go and have this. And the worst part of it, and this is something to kind of talk about overall, is take care of your body, for real. I'm 42 years old. I've been doing this type of work for at least 15 years. And there was probably better ways for me to handle and deal with certain things and be self-aware. I'm not as torn as some guys my age and some guys in the field, but most definitely you should watch what you're doing, do the right things when you're lifting and moving stuff, and do the best you can to take care of your body. I get paid to fix stuff, but there's a cost to it. My hands cramp up. I'm in tight positions a lot, so it's it does kind of take a toll. But again, I try to limit some of those things. So yeah, I've fallen, and since then I've had these aches and pains now. And what I was trying to get to somewhat give a little more context for David here, and I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Because of the falls, I was in pain. I've been in pain, really. I've been working out. I've been doing some yoga and stuff that really has helped, especially with my lower back and my left half of my body. And I was healing towards the beginning of 2024, and about 6 months later, I started getting all these aches and pains. Okay, and yeah, I most definitely had to get there and start dealing with trying to heal my body better. And then comes January, I fall again, bust my knee, and whatnot. And I still get these aches and pains now. I might have them for probably forever now until I go to the doctor and maybe get some surgery done on my knee or something. But I'm not gonna burden the healthcare system with these issues right now. I'm still able to move around. You don't need, you really don't totally need healthcare unless you really need it. Unless you really need it. There's so many times I've been to the doctor and it's literally just like I could have just Googled this and would save my insurance and everything else money, but whatever. But because of the pain, I'm a grumpy person sometimes. I'm not a morning person. I am cheerful and try to be jolly and such. But yeah, I could be grumpy. The toll of life and experience and work really puts a weight on you at times. And I recently had to deal with this, so I was a bit in pain more, so I was grumpy. And my wife, she mentioned to me, you've been really grumpy lately. You've been kind of an asshole, and I had to apologize to her. I was glad that she brought it up. Of course, I'm assuming not everyone can do that. Probably some people are not the best relationships. But luckily for me and her, even though we have differences and how we handle things and such, not the communication does help. We may have to cool down and then talk about things later, but that's always good, right? So I apologized to her, and then you know what? After apologizing to her, she realized, oh yeah, he's grumpy because he's in pain. You know, I'm in pain, and I'm kind of selfish in that aspect because I'm more worried about my pain. So I really didn't know. When you think about it, I really didn't know what I was doing when I'm, snapping about something. So she apologized to me to realizing, you know what, I was inconsiderate this whole time because she's used to me just, kind of being the man. I get up, I don't whine too much. I should say I whine about other things, but I don't whine too much about, everyday life and my struggles and the pains I'm constantly in. I burn my hands constantly from doing plumbing work and brazing. I don't know if you can see some of these, but some of these markings, some of them are from September of last year, okay? And they're still healing. Same thing on this hand here. I have another mark here because I was using a hole saw and I was trying to cut a hole for some faucet stuff, and the hole saw jumped and then hit my hand, and so I'm constantly getting hurt. I'm constantly in pain, and sometimes she forgets that. Oh yeah, I'm just as frail as everyone else. I'm not Mr. Man all the time. Sometimes, things hurt and things bother you and stuff. But us communicating those things, and it may have taken a while, of course. So don't think things will always just will happen like that. It takes time as well. But communicating those things, kind of helped us get past that. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, we were both kind of, kind of annoyed and angry with each other because I have attitude. She has, life gets her, and then I have attitude, and she has attitude with me, and it goes back and forth. you know. But again, taking that time to communicate, and of course being comfortable with communicating those things. And I'd say start those things, early on. Most definitely, you're young, David. So most definitely start doing those habits early on. You never know. I was, I think, in my early 20s, 24. I was 24 when I had that long-term relationship that it was almost 14 years. And there's a whole discussion on that, which could be for another time because who knows how long I'll be on here for right now. But most definitely, and I'll say some of those aspects were also why we ended up splitting up was also my fault. It was a two-way streak, but yes, I probably could have handled certain things better, and most definitely I apologized to her about my actions. And we talk. I have a son with her and everything, so we do talk about things. It's still a little iffy, but we still hang out together to an extent, and we do things with our son. We go out to eat together, and so on. I do wish certain things were better, but again, being open and accepting your faults and those things really does help trying to move those types of issues along. So, yeah. So I hope my rambling made some sense. I appreciate David um, asking some questions here and whatnot. But yeah, anyone else got any questions or what's going on with them that you may want to talk about, or maybe an experience you had. Um, I myself am I'm always on a spiritual journey. Currently, right now, I tonight, and this may help people too. I don't necessarily need the church. I don't necessarily need a faith in something, in a spiritual faith. I kind of have my own thing, but I do align with the values of other religions and other philosophies and theologies and stuff. So I could see the truths in those things, which we all should. To be honest with you, we all should be able to see the truths in those things. But I on Tuesday nights. Hello, Nick. Hello, Har something with that weird name. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with me right now. But right now on Tuesday nights, I have Zoom meetings with a mutual friend who is a follower of the Baha'i Faith. Now, I don't know everything of the Baha'i Faith, but basically, it was this guy who considers himself a prophet and who basically is saying that the Christian, the Islamic, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, oh my God, Hinduism, all these major faiths are actually connected as one, essentially. They're basically just lights of the source, in a sense. So the reason why I kind of aligned with this, the Baha'i faith, is because it sees those things as that, and I see those faiths as that. So I have been lately. I've been away from the church and stuff, and like I said, I do live in my own spiritual practices and stuff. But I enjoy the fellowship, and I enjoy talking about these things. And given that the Baha'i faith is basically, it still has that, those Christian undertones and ideals and stuff. And I shouldn't say Christian, but most people will understand that when I say that. But it's a little bit more liberating in a sense, because we're taking all those ideologies and basically forming it into like one ideology. Like basically, God is all those things. Now, God could be anything. God could be the God of Judeo-Christian, the Abrahamic religions, and so on. Hello, Hardball. But that's another discussion. I don't know about any of you if you're religious and such, but most definitely I do feel that a spiritual path, excuse me, that a spiritual path is needed for our well-being. Whatever you may believe. Heck, even if you're a devil worshiper, that is also a spiritual path, and it probably helps you in certain ways in understanding things that are outside of this, material world that we live in. And even in the material world, there is spirituality, even in the ideas of like a oneness. Okay, so in oneness, we can see that with theoretical physics. I mean, quantum mechanics overall is telling us we're all kind of interconnected. You know what I'm saying? So science in itself is kind of seeing this oneness. All right, and for me, I went through different. I was brought up Catholic, was baptized into the Christian faith, and then eventually I became atheistic towards my later year, my teen years, and then I became an agnostic, which I would say I'm more agnostic now than anything. But I've come back to kind of those ideals because after going so far away, I kind of see how those things actually have meaning and have weight in them in our everyday lives. So I'm only mostly doing this path under the Baha'i faith as more of the fellowship and kind of getting me back into those beliefs and kind of finding some alignment with with that. I do enjoy church at times. I don't need it. I don't need to hear the word of God. I do believe that if you understand the word of God, there's no need for the word of God because you already understand it. There's no need for the church because you already have the word of God. Okay, I know I'm going to be getting and probably flowing over people's heads, and most definitely someone out there is probably listening. Maybe they understand a little bit of that. Go ahead, shoot in a chat. Again, I appreciate it. Please chat. Please share. Please whatever, or give me some feedback on how dumb I sound or something like that. But most definitely, I think people who go to churches because they're still looking for something. I'm not really looking for something. Even though I've been through all this and I don't have the answer, I don't really care what the end goal is, because even in any faith that is very close to the Christian faith or Hindu faith, we have an understanding of consequences and good and evil and such. So in all those faiths, it's easy to understand. You do bad, most likely bad things will happen to you. Doesn't matter if it's karma or not. There's something to those things that have us connected to that. You see all the time people making bad an addiction. These things don't go well for yourself, for those people, when you're caught up in those things. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't drink in that context or you shouldn't try things. Most definitely don't try everything, and most definitely if you're having an addictive personality, don't touch any of that. But all things are good in moderation, and that's where people have their problem. Just like religion, religion's good in moderation. You don't need to be a crazy person on the street corner saying the end is nigh. Read John 3:16 or something like that. Because even then, all you need is, in that context, Christ. And Christ is something that's between you and Christ. It's not you and a church. It's not you and your neighbor. But those things do come into play because when we're all following those things and we're all trying to emulate the ideas of Christ, it does help yourself. It helps other people. And it does help your neighbor. But what you're really doing is yourself. We see this all to work on yourself, and you can express those things and share that with other people. So you can actually, apply this to anything, any part of your life. But yeah, so I've been doing that recently for the last, I think, 3 months or so. I want to say somewhere around there, maybe a little longer than that. But more consistently in the past 3 months, I've been Tuesdays. We were doing them on Thursdays, and we do them about 8 o'clock at night, and we do them on Zoom. So instead of me trying to get ready for church and be out there, which I work already. I got kids. I got a wife, so I got a relationship deal. It becomes very draining at times to try to spread yourself to everything else, to everyone else. And I'm not saying the church is bad or the fellowship of the church is bad, but if you need it, then use it. If you don't need it, you don't. You could just read your Bible at home, or you could read the Bhagavad Gita, or the Talmud, or and you don't need to go to church to that really. And even in the teachings of Christ and others, you need to walk that path yourself. So on that thing, I'm walking this path, even though I still have my own reservations of what the truth is, but all these different points of religion and philosophies and even politics all have some truth in them. So you could take a little bit from each of those things and try to understand the world around you. I hope that makes sense. Hello, Beto. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. So I hope that makes sense. So this stream, if I keep doing them, would be these random streams of consciousness, unless I come up with some kind of outline or something that I want to do. But more or less, I'm just doing these things to share with other people. Sometimes I'm on other people's lives. That's what I've been doing. some occult stuff, some religious stuff. I and some of the religious stuff, believe it or not, I tend to feel like I'm more anti-religious, more of an atheist because I'm, trying to explain certain things. And then on the other side, when I'm dealing with the atheists, they consider me some religious nut job or a Christian, which I don't follow. Don't really follow any of that. I just see the truth in those. I could see truths in those things, and then listen to people explain I their perspective of those truths, and see how they're misguided and such. For instance, real quick, to me, the mystery of our being, the mystery of the universe, the mystery of God, is no different than the mystery of the universe or the mystery of God. So the Big Bang, which you could interpret as what God was saying in the Bible in Genesis, to be honest with you, you could interpret it that way because we really don't understand what 7 days means to God, if that's an all being or if it's a collective universe. But the Big Bang is no different. The randomness of the Big Bang is no different than the randomness of God creating life, or the reasons why they wanted to create life. So to me, they're equally the same. It's just as fantastical, because you gotta admit, we're 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 floating in the sphere of space, and there's other spheres within the space, and there's more beyond all that. So that's just as mind blowing. The fact that we're these multicellular organisms. If you don't realize, people, you're technically your own venom suit. You understand that your skin is alive on its own. Yeah, we're covered in this, and yeah, I'm expressing myself, and this is, I got a beard, and and I'm wearing a bandana and all this goofy shit I got, right? Yeah, that's it. But really, in the end, the skin is made of billions of living beings. Skin cells, simple things you can learn in biology, high school biology at that, high school zoology as well. It's simple stuff. They're alive. They're single-celled organisms. The same thing with your fingernails. Same thing with these hairs. The same thing with your blood. The same thing with your white blood cells. The same thing with your neurons. They're all living beings in this ecosystem of ourselves. So that blows my mind, just as much as a guy creating life on this planet alone. It's just as fantastical, and we can't even explain it. It just is. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. I'm rambling on. I didn't have much to prepare for this, but yeah. Anything in the chat. Thanks again, David, for asking some questions. But anyone in the chat, you're listening to me. Tell me I'm talking crazy. Maybe align with some of that. Maybe you have some ideas that you would want to hear from someone like me, I guess. Or maybe you can come on the live well and we could discuss more things. But if you're just tuning in, this is my first time doing a live. People have been telling me I should, but apparently TikTok has approved finally that I could do lives. I must have hit a certain number. It's been like I think a year or more, and yeah, I decided to jump on now while I was still awake and had some time to talk and kill it. Like I said, I was just doing that Baja meeting, and I'm kind of still hyped up from that. And I'm in the same space, so why not do a TikTok live? I could do a Facebook live or something, but I was like, let's test this out. So I appreciate everyone stopping by and people chatting in there and people staying. I thank you for the 39 people watching and the follower now. My TikToks, I have multiple accounts. But I'm starting to fill it up, so my TikToks are going to be random things. I might make memes. I might upload just simple snippets of my life. Maybe pics of my kids or something. I don't know. That's really what my TikTok's going to be. It's nothing special. I may spoof other TikToks, because how goofy TikTok is at times and what people do on it. It's often funny and cringe, this is just as funny as cringe too, but some of the things I find is just like, this is really getting millions of views. This is really what people want to watch. So if the goofiest things people want to watch are getting thousands of views to millions of views. Why not my goofy self get on here? That's pretty much it. So, but yeah, I'm an HVAC tech. I remodel. I do handyman stuff. I'm also basically an armchair occultist. I've been ghost hunting since I'm about 16 years old. I don't even want to call it ghost hunting because that's really not what we're trying to figure out. I mean, if you got questions about that, I'm sure someone's gonna enjoy that. I do have a paranormal TikTok. I just haven't uploaded much on there. I have videos and no proof. I'll tell you right now, as someone who's been involved with magical practices and trying to find ghosts and demons and all that, I haven't found any. I'll tell you that right now. I've video recorded people sleeping. I've been to handful of houses. I've had I don't know how many cases I've had. More than a dozen cases, more than a dozen, research into looking into things, and I haven't found proof of ghosts and demons. Okay, I've tried things that would probably get me to demons, and nothing has happened. All right. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I didn't do the right rituals and so on. I've been to places where supposed dark stuff happens. And I can say there is a vibe at those places. I can say that the scariest thing I found in supposed haunted places are actually people. I'll give you a story. How about this? I'll give you a story. So there's this place they call the Silo. I found this years ago. And on the internet, on some old forums, like 20 years ago or something like that. And me and my crew went to go try to find it. We couldn't find this silo. It's in a city called Bartlett, Illinois. If you look up Bartlett, Illinois, you'll find out that it's just basically a rural town with some rich people in some of the neighborhoods, right? So there could be kids interested in occultism, and there could be legitimate occultists out there, which I can tell you that they do exist. So no matter if the devil doesn't exist, or demons don't exist, people believe in those things and do act upon those things. And so back to the silo story. So we go out and we can't find a silo, right? We walked around. We tried to pinpoint where they described where it would be. Couldn't find it. I think we went out there about two or three times, and then one of those times, the last time, we're walking back, and it was literally in October, I want to say. We're walking back, and the moon is out, full moon, I want to say, and the light from the moon is shining through this area of trees, and we're walking towards this area to get back to the car, and I'm looking, and I could see a silhouette of a silo in the trees, and I point to my friends, and I'm like, there it is. We finally found it. Now, we were already out there for I don't know how long trying to find this damn thing. And so we're like, we're going to come back, okay? We're going to come back. So we get that. We get more people to come with us because we're like, we finally found this thing that supposedly occultic activities are happening in. And we get everyone in. A friend of mine who actually left us just a few years ago, he was a skeptic, and he was with me on the front lines as we're walking through this narrow passage of plant life and stuff, trying to get to this area. And we can hear some noises, and then we tell everyone to stop. We're like, everyone stop. We can hear unified chanting coming from the area of the silo. And we all have our eyes wide open, our mouths dropped. We're looking at each other, and we're like, dude, there's really people doing stuff in this silo. And we're all like deciding, should we go? And we all decide, nah, we're just gonna let it be. We're not gonna. Even my skeptic's like, I'm not messing with that. He even said, it doesn't matter if they believe, if the devil is out there, whatever. Those people are out there doing something. And I will want to add to this. Occultism itself doesn't mean devil worshiping, doesn't mean Luciferianism, doesn't mean demon worship, or anything, any of those things you might have in your head about cultism, it's not holding to those ideas. Okay, occultism in itself is really just information that's not uh, widely publicized. So occultic means it could be just you withholding information in a sense, but in the context of what we all know occultism, it's about magical philosophies, spiritual philosophy, sometimes philosophy in itself. Early occultism, or what people used to label things as like the mystery schools. All right, let me give you. I could be wrong. Someone out there listening could correct me here. But when they said the mystery schools, they don't mean like some grand information they're withholding with us. Those mystery schools of old were schools about mathematics, geometry, philosophy. Socrates and all these other philosophers and scientists of the past that we celebrate were part of these mystery schools. Okay, we got to remember it wasn't until the last like 150 years that people actually started reading. So the majority of people who were in science and whatnot, it was a small percentage at that, and the majority of people were not aware of those things at all. Some people didn't even read. So during those times, 2,000 years ago, most people weren't reading or even aware of what geometry or even philosophy was, because that wasn't beholden to them or part of their everyday lives. So mystery schools really are referring to those things. Yeah, there's some spiritual philosophies that some people may not like, but even in those philosophies, they're nothing inherently wrong with them. What makes anything inherently wrong is obviously sacrifices, blood sacrifices, and so on, which not all these, or probably most of these mystery schools, don't even participate in. But there are people out there who do those things. There are cults out there, like the cult of Baal and stuff, that do exist, and most likely are still doing sacrifices. And there's still old religions out there that probably still exist and are probably still doing sacrifices or believe in such offerings. And just to remind you, if you read your Bible too, we used to do blood offerings too to God, until of course Jesus died on the cross for our sins, but he also died to get away from the old laws of the Old Testament too. So all you got to do, instead of sacrificing and giving blood, you got to go through Christ, which I'm not saying is a right thing to do, or there's some what do you call it, moral obligation to do those things in order to go through heaven. But that's what that's all about. So back in the day, we were all sacrificing. Christians were sacrificing. Well, they weren't Christians then, but the people who believed in the Judeo-Christian philosophy back then, they did sacrifice animals. They did give up things. God did kill a bunch of firstborn sons and all these things for such things. Even in the Bible, Isaiah 45:7, God says, I'm going to get this wrong too. I could probably just pull this up. But God says, I am God. I am good. I am evil. I am creator. I am destroyer. I, God, am all these things. So, if magic does exist, okay, if Satanism does exist, if Satan does exist, where would it come from? It would come from the source, right? Satan's not going to have his own little universe of laws and stuff. I mean, maybe hell is a universe, right? Maybe hell is a what do you call it? A multiverse, or within the multiverse, right? Because if heaven and hell do exist as what we, let's say, are described and what we visualize at times, they would have to exist somewhere, right? No matter what, it would have to exist somewhere. It may not exist here, but it may exist somewhere, okay? Even if it's spiritual, it would have to exist somewhere. And if it exists, who created all existence? God did, right? So if witchcraft, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, okay? Just going to throw the term out there. Don't say that I'm saying witchcraft is bad or witchcraft is good or anything like that. If witchcraft is what it is, right? Whatever you think it is, where would it come from? It won't come from the devil. It would have to come from God, What is praying? Praying is meditation, right? What are the miracles that we talk about of God in the Bible? It's like magic. That's what magic is, right? Turning water into wine. That's magic, right? What is it? You know, uh, and another thing, divination, right, exists in the Bible. It also, we can divine to angels. We can divine ourselves to God, right? So divination to God and angels is good, but divination with tarot cards and whatnot is bad. Why? I mean, there are there are things in the Bible that say witchcraft and such is bad, but still, just think. Where would it come from, right? And I'm not saying tarot. We can get into an occultic magical discussion here, all right? And I'm not saying tarot cards and other ways of divination are magical in themselves, right? Okay, I will say that everything that we're experiencing is here in the physical realm and here in the spiritual realm, okay, and the mental realm as well, mostly in the mental realm. So when we're divining the let's say we are using this golden chef, right? This golden chef to do some kind of divination act, right? There's no power in this. There's no power. This golden chef is not even gold. It's a plastic coated in gold, right? It's also a rare in the package of that South Park minis I was collecting. It's also rare too. I also got a rare. I think that's a Stan, right? Stan. Look at that. Hey guys. Uh, but they don't have any value really, other than what we put on them. Okay. Just like any belief, philosophy, even money, economics, they have no real power other than what we give it. All right. So divination in itself is only powerful because we are the diviner. Now, how we divine through that is a different story, but we are the diviner. All right. Tarot cards are just paper, right? It's just paper and printed stuff on it. There's nothing inherently magical about them. There's nothing magic. They're not coming from the magical tarot card tree. They're not painted with magical colors from the magical tarot card color cauldron or anything like that. It's all everything that we put together and are using to divine, to use as divination. So there's nothing inherently powerful or evil or bad about those things. Your intention is bad, right? And your intention is good. That's what really matters in that sense, you know. And realistically, if you are one with your spiritual self, and let's say one with a God, doesn't matter. You really don't need tarot cards, okay? You should be just direct link to the source, all right? Now, for me, without getting into a whole long discussion here, my magical practices, although I do sigil work, I obviously talk about tarot cards. I do tarot cards here and there. Most of my magic and my understanding, and even stuff from the Bible tells us this. What is it? I am that I am. I think that was what Moses. I could be wrong. It's been a while, but I am that I am is basically us saying I am the power that God has given me. I am that free will that God has given me. Okay. So, although again I use sigils and other things for those practices when I do. I don't often do it. It's not a thing I got to do every Wednesday and every full moon or some goofy crap like that. Those things may help. All right. I'm not gonna say they don't, and I'm not gonna say they do, but it doesn't matter for me. It's mostly in my mind. That's where my magic comes from. If I'm gonna call it that. All right. If I'm going to call magic anything or have a definition to it, it is basically a philosophy or tool for you to do cheat codes to your subconscious. All right? That may go over some people's heads, but that's what I feel, and largely what the data and information is showing us, that magic is of the mind. Okay? It's of the mind. There's no Google powers, putting things in a jar of moon water. That may There may be some, you know, uh, uh, extra extra a plus one to that, but really it's the power we give it from the mind, our belief, empowered by belief, right? That's where magic comes from. That's where faith comes from, right? That's where prayer comes from. That's where meditation comes from. So these things don't inherently have a good or bad origin. They're not inherently good or bad. It's what we do. It's what our intent is. So, uh, I know I'm ranting out a little bit. It's most likely what the streams are going to be. I'll probably end up having maybe some no card stuff down. I appreciate again everyone coming in here. But these are the things that I would be talking about. You know, philosophy, obviously, magic, cultism, HVAC. You got a leaky AC unit, right? Right? How many AC guys, remodelers, you think you're going to run into that are going to talk about occultism and theology and spirituality? Probably not. But yeah, I can fix your AC, and I might be able to help with your spiritual self. You never know. You never know. That's what you might run into in this stream, or talking to me, or dealing with me in some aspects. Sometimes the patience with my bluntness and my stubbornness of my own ideas at times might be a what do you call it, a teaching upon yourself, upon your own patience and whatnot. It was a namaste. I see you and me, and you see me, right? Is that how that goes? But yeah, so again, I'm new to the stream. We'll be talking about a lot of things. I hope some of those things I talked about earlier will be able to, will some be able to grasp on. I do hope my little bit of relationship advice from earlier will help. If anyone has any questions or comments or critiques, it'd be a perfect time right now to put them out in there in the chat. Please like, share, all that goofy stuff, whatever. I don't, whatever you got to do. And let me know. So it'd be a great time right now. You guys listening, you guys seeing what you took from that, or maybe you got something else to add to this discussion, or just want to, steamroll my chat with some nonsense. I don't care. Steamroll my chat with some nonsense. I'll probably be getting off soon because I've already been on for about an hour here. And I'm not necessarily running out of things, but it's late, and I gotta get up around 6 or so in the morning here. But yeah, most definitely. I don't know if you guys can tune in to lives. TikTok's still kind of new to me, but I don't know if you can tune in live. So please check out the live if it comes up. Maybe I gotta post it somehow. I'm not sure. I'll look into that. But yeah, most definitely, thank you again for stopping by and whatnot. And we could be talking about occultism, HVAC, my collectibles. As you see, look at this Godzilla I got. I got this for my birthday from a friend of mine that I play Warhammer with. Sticking his tongue out. You guys like Godzilla? Who likes Godzilla out there? Who likes kaijus and stuff like that? I love it. Godzilla's my favorite. Well, I shouldn't say that. He is the king of monsters. He is my favorite. But Rodan, where's Rodan at? Oh no, that's Mothra. Where is Rodan at? I got Rodan around here somewhere. Here's King Ghidorah. There you go. King Ghidorah. He's cool. And then a few other things here. I got all sorts of collectibles. I'm such a nerd too. You know what? I might be able to do a tarot reading, maybe. Anyone out there might want a tarot reading? I just got to get my cards, and maybe we could do a quick three card read. It'll help me. Maybe I'll do that too on these live streams. Get my tarot game back up because I've been away from it for so long. Again, like I said, it's not the cards, all right? It's not the cards that really say anything. It's me interpreting the cards, or one interpreting those cards, that really gives it its power. And you, whoever's listening or what the reading is for, is what gives it more power. I will say, since doing tarot, I'm not as good as I used to be because I barely remember my birthday sometimes. But I've I've found some truths doing tarot. You know, I had a guy that I worked with, and actually, what started to have me do tarot more was about 8 years ago or so. I've been doing tarot on and off since I probably was about 18 or so. But I was working with this guy. We're remodeling hotels, mostly around Illinois here. And they're like, "Hey, you do tarot? You know, do a tarot on me." Through the tarot, I found out about his past, in a sense, his both work ethic and his relationship past. And through that, I also found out he had a side chick through the tarot cards. Every reading I've ever done, I don't know what it is. Even when I could barely remember what it is, you can actually you could do tarot without having to read the book and all that, and just look at the card itself, and just get whatever the card's telling you. But no matter what, I've found answers or given people advice or trying to understand things that might be bothering someone that's just deep seated, and the tarot helps bring those things out. So I might do those things if people are interested in tarot readings. I'll do that. I could do a general one, but most definitely it'd be much easier to do a. Oh my God, we have detected inactivity during your current life. Complete the verification to continue your current life. What in the world? Am I not on? Is my audio not on? Can someone give me some feedback out there, please? Is my audio working? Is my video working? Because it's telling me it has some inactivity. You can now adjust the volume here. I don't know what's going on there. Anyone done these things before? Is there a reason why TikTok is telling me that I have inactivity here? Anything, guys? Someone out there's got to be listening to me right now, right? You're not just staring at my ugly face here. I mean, it's telling me my mic is up, and my mixer's telling me that that's it. What's up, Volvo? How's it going, man? Who else has come in here? Again, I appreciate everyone stopping by. I really didn't think I was going to get this many viewers right now. Thanks again. We got another viewer. If you're just tuning in, I know I'm going to be repeating myself, but I know how it is when people are tuning into things and you don't know what you're following. I talk about everything, anything. You need work done on your house. You got some plumbing issue. Maybe you got some love issues. I've been through some stuff. I can help you with that. And maybe you might want a tarot reading, or maybe you want to talk about my ghost hunting, or my maybe philosophy or theories on ghost hunting. I've been doing that since I was 16 years old. I'm 42. Hello, Mixed Beauty. I am 42 years old, so I've been doing it on and off. I've been to all sorts of haunted places, cemeteries, people's houses, abandoned places, sanitariums, and I will say some weird stuff does exist out there. All right, weird stuff does exist. Weird stuff does happen, but I haven't found any ghosts. I haven't found any validity to actual ghosts. Like grandma who's gonna come down and sit on the couch and rock on it and touch my remote or something like that. I have seen weird things. To sum up some of the things I've seen or experienced, I will say they're like glitches in the Matrix. That's the best way I can to say those things. They're glitches in the Matrix. That's what most paranormal experiences I can tell. And they're also psychic in nature, all right? And the reason why I say they're psychic in nature is because if you look at what a psychic does and what a psychic is, and then you look at someone experiencing a haunting, they're very similar. So how do you decide what's happening in the mind of a psychic eye and then what might be happening in the physical world? You can't. You can't really. There's nothing physical about the ghost or the spiritual world. It's all spiritual or mental or in a place that's not happening here on this level of existence. So to explain that, for instance, me and my ex, we had this apartment in Antioch, Illinois, small 1 bedroom apartment, cool little place. Eventually, it became an issue because we had 3 cats and one of them kept pissing, so it was constantly a chore to clean up cat piss on the rug. But we got it done. Most people didn't even know what happened, but that's because you got to keep up on it and whatnot. And we were sitting after a long day. I think I came home from trade school. One of the nights I was working trade school, and we were watching something, and we saw the lamp move like this on its own. Has never happened before. Hasn't happened ever after that. Only one time, and it moved back and forth like this. And we both looked, saw nothing there. Our cats were all laying down already. This is at nighttime, and that happened. I've seen weird things move. You know, I was doing a live stream, or I was getting a live stream ready for my YouTube channel, the Anonymous Radio Network podbean.com. I should put that in the bio. Sorry, guys. Anonymous Radio here. I'll put it in the chats. How about that? That's where I am. I started on Blog Talk Radio, but oh Jesus, all these windows up here. But I was in the kitchen in this place, okay. And anomalous. I'm trying to write it down, guys. I was in the kitchen, and my girl was cooking, and I'm sitting at the table looking at the stove, which is where she's at, and then the sink is right to the left of the stove, and I saw a wooden spoon. She eventually saw it because it fell, but I saw a wooden spoon out of one of the drawers that was open because she was grabbing something. It literally went in the air, did a flip, and then fell. All right. So, maybe it was a ghost messing with us, or it could be a glitch in the matrix, or maybe somehow both of us wanted that to happen or something. You know, there's a lot involved with these things. Okay, it's not just one answer really, and we don't really have a one answer. I may be sounding like I'm giving one answer to those experiences, but you know. The only one answer is it all comes from the source. That's the real answer. As to why those things happen, I can't really explain it to you. All I can say is that there's a possibility that there's glitches in the matrix. So the spoon may have flipped up on its own. Hello, Sully. Hello, who else just came? So the spoon did a flip and whatnot. So you got to understand a little bit of quantum theory and quantum mechanics about superpositions and so on, and collapse of wave functions. I don't understand it much. Again, as I was explaining earlier, I'm an armchair enthusiast into occultism, even though I've spent years reading things. I don't think I'm an expert in it. I've read books on physics and quantum physics and theoretical physics. I could barely remember some of the authors' names, even though I should. Like Richard Feynman, that's one, you know. All these different things. So we have to understand that everything has in the idea of quantum theory, everything has a possibility to be where they're at, because in the idea of the multiverse and all things happening at once, and this right now is just the moment that we're experiencing this event, whatever this is. There's a possibility, for instance, here's Chef again, wonderful, beautiful golden Chef. Chef could be on my shoulder, right? Look, I'm already doing this example. Chef could be on my shoulder, right? It could be on this side. It could be here, or it can come back right here, which is in front, all right? Those are all possibilities, just like right now, I'm going to explain it to you, that could happen without the interference of basically the now, me taking that and putting it there, all right? For whatever reason, the universe, the code of the universe, let's say, decided that because of the multiple positions this chef could be at, especially since I just said I could put it on my shoulder, I could do that, will appear on my shoulder because of the alignment of the Earth with the sun and the moon, or geomagnetic radiation, or electromagnetic fields overall, and so on. Those do play a huge part into paranormal experiences. Hello, unavoidable or inavoidable and lovable, whatever it is. All right. So those things can play into that. For instance, uh, people under intense electromagnetic radiation can actually see things. They've done studies on this already. It's totally possible. Now, could the electromagnetic fields help with the veil to see between that veil of those possibilities? Maybe. Or maybe the electromagnetic fields, the radiation is affecting our brain, which is also it's a computer. It's magnets, electricity running through there. Maybe it's affecting those, in which we do see those things, and they're most likely to happen. That's what an EMF reader is really for. If you're into ghost hunting, the EMF reader is not. There's nothing that says it finds ghosts. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, you may read a book. You may watch someone on TikTok. You may have seen the Ghost Hunter show. Blah blah blah. Well, actually, Ghost Hunters back in the day, they didn't say DMF reader was for ghosts specifically. They were trying to find underlying base readings of what the electromagnetic fields would be in a house or so on. I wish I had an electromagnetic reader right next to me so I could show you how much radiation I'm getting from just being here. I got the mic. I have the computer, the camera. I have my mixer, my USB mixer here. And I got electric all around me, right? Electric here to feed into this and all that. Those are all going to produce electromagnetic fields to a certain degree, right? And they could affect us. Some people could be sensitive to electromagnetic fields. People have gotten sick just from that because of their own sensitivity. So it's totally possible that electromagnetic fields may be inducing paranormal experiences. Not that the ghosts are using the electromagnetic fields to make themselves happen. We have no real data that says that's what it is. And I'm going to say I have, besides some theories and some experiments that have been done, I'm not going to say that the electromagnetic fields are inducing those things. It's just a probability, and the most probable probability, the most probable thing that could happen is that that's what's going on there. Solar flares have a huge part. The effects of the moon, the gravitational force, all these things have effects on us. Geomagnetic radiation as well, which is not connected technically to electrical magnetic fields. Okay. So all these things affect us differently. You can even get radiation from what do you call it? Uranium, which here in Illinois we have a lot of uranium. So that's why you would have to get a radon detector, and then have a radon. I forget what they call it, but it's a little fan that pulls the radon gas from underneath your house and blows it out, which is weird. It's underneath the house, and then we're just blowing it right back out. Right? We're just blowing it right back out into the environment, and most likely it'll probably come back into your house. All right, FYI, if you ever had to deal with radon or think about that. Yeah, I mean, the collection underneath the house could cause issues, but you're literally just taking that gas, which has its own effects, and you're just dumping it right back into the environment. But those things are more likely the cause of these experiences, besides us being having a bit of a psychic nature. All right, that plays into it, a bit of psychic nature. Besides that, grandma is coming from the other side and decided to change the channel, or decided to move a picture, or that lamp that I was talking about earlier, move that lamp for whatever reason. I mean, if they just touch me on my shoulder, Hello, RH. Thank you for joining. Just touch me on my shoulder or something. Actually talk to me. So, given that experience, given what I'm telling you, I don't believe anything that I see, any of these paranormal channels. I even have friends who have paranormal channels. They know some of my feelings, but, I'm not going to dog on them about it. I think it's bunk. I think it's bunk how most of these channels and groups are using the radios. I should know these things, but it's 12 something at night, and my brain I'm ready to go to sleep here. But using EVP tools to ghosts for catching ghosts. Back in my day, I'm an old man, 42 years old, right? Back in my day, we didn't really use those things. For us, it was the EMF readings and orbs, right? Anyone remember orbs? Which we find out, and we can prove this. They're just dust particles, right? Now I have had some weird things happen, and then had pictures with interesting orb stuff. I can't say they're correlated. I really can't. But I have, all right? I have. But the majority of orbs and things like that that were coming up. Oh, yeah, mists. Remember mists? You don't see those anymore, right? Because that was during a time prior to social network and prior to the advancements in technology that we had. So it was easy to fake mists and stuff like that back in the day compared to faking them now, and then thus, as I'm trying to say here, why aren't most of these channels using other techniques besides the EVP tool, right? Because it's the easiest way to say ghost exists, because you're getting something, and then even then that doesn't even matter. That doesn't even totally correlate with a haunting or anything like that, right? So most definitely, when you're seeing those things, don't believe it. Don't. Yeah. There's some weird stuff. Yeah, there might be some legit electronic voice phenomenon type stuff. All right, but the majority of it, it's crap. All right, it's crap. I'll tell you this: the majority of stories that you knew of that span at least 100 years, they're all fake. They turn out to be all fake. All right. What was it? Houdini, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle believed in the paranormal. He started to investigate it. He became a disbeliever. He became a skeptic, because the majority of cases that he started to follow found out they were fake. They're all these major stories that I read in a book. They're great stories to read in Chicago hauntings and Illinois hauntings or Ohio hauntings, and they're cool. Yeah, it's great stories, but you weren't there. I wasn't there. All right. Same thing with what people get all crazy up for, The Conjuring and all that stuff with what. Oh my God, it's horrible. I should remember these guys. But with those two, the Enemy of the Horror, Conjuring, all that stuff, Annabelle. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting their name. But anyways, the majority of their stories, they're fake. They turn out to be fake. They turn out to be hoaxes, or just embellishments of other things. There's even people that have gone after them, all right, because they were selling their story without their consent. Okay, so I don't believe most paranormal groups. I don't believe most paranormal channels, paranormal TikToks. It makes me sad that they get thousands of views, because there's nothing concrete with any of them. Nothing. Yet people are going to sit there and watch that crap. Like it's like they're finding out the secret thing. There's nothing. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. I haven't found proof of ghosts, and I've been searching ghosts since I was 16 years old. I have found proof of weird stuff. I'll tell you that. But I can't totally explain it to you. I have a theory, but it's not. It's not. The ghost coming from the other side. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think that's the case. And if it was, like Houdini, all right, Houdini said if he died and there was a spiritual world, he would come back. Houdini said this. Houdini hasn't come back. Houdini hasn't made himself known at all. And he was also investigating paranormal experiences back in the day. Look it up. Look up Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Look up Houdini. They were all looking into paranormal experiences, and every one of them that they found was a hoax. And those same stories that they were finding are written in other books as they were fact, and in the Ghost Stories of America type thing. You know what I'm saying? Again, the great books, and there might be some little bit of truths in them, but I don't believe it. All right. I will say that people going people in stressful situations, all right, which is most cases, like for instance, remodeling a house as a stressful event, uh, people dying, stressful event. You tend to have more paranormal experiences during that time. Coincidence? Maybe, or maybe that's just part of it. Maybe being stressed helps. I shouldn't say helps, but uh, hinders our perceptions on things. All right. So maybe that's the case of what's going on. Stress, going, basically just stress overall. Those lack of sleep, that is stress on the body, so and stress on the mind. All right. What do people see when they get lack of sleep? They see shadow beings. Okay. Maybe shadow beings exist, or maybe shadow beings are just a projection of ourselves. All right. Which, if you look up a psychologist, a behavioralist, Dr. Carl Jung, he talks about these things. He talks about the shadow complex, which is a projection of all the negative aspects of ourselves that gets manifested by us, most likely by us. Maybe there could be external things that manifest and people that feed into these things. Mass delusion, as they say, and stuff. And again, not saying none of that isn't real and that it is, but there's a lot of connecting dots to those things, right? So maybe that's what people are experiencing when they're seeing shadow people. They're just seeing the negative stuff that they don't deal with that just gets manifested because of a stressful event. Thus, the shadow person comes, right? I've seen them. I've seen them. I've dealt with people who are going through psychosis who see these things. Now, maybe again, I'm going to say it again. Maybe the psychosis just thins that veil and it helps us see those things. Or maybe it's part of the reason why we see those things, and they don't really exist. It's just part of the crazy thing that is our brain, that is our mind, right? So, yeah. So, again, not saying that ghosts don't exist. Yeah, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Yeah, the Amityville Horror is fake. Yeah, those things. But, I have seen some weird stuff, As I explained earlier, I saw a spoon flip. I saw a lamp move just on the other side here. Actually, here you can, let me go around here. I can move this around. Plus, you get to see the work that I did, all this drywall and whatnot of this wonderful office attic thing that I've been trying to make, which I did all myself. I had to bring all this drywall framing up myself just so I can make this. It was a bare attic. And there is my painting studio for my minis and where I do my live streams. Again, look for, oh yeah, there we go. The Anonymous Radio Network .podbean.com is where you can find more. I'm going to send that in chat. All right. Also, you can find that on YouTube and see some of my live streams. It's just as, flow of life type of thing, slice of life type of thing now. Again, I might get an outline made. I might do some more. It's a mess. I'm sorry, it's a mess, but it's just me up here most of the time. I got my Xbox. I got my cats, and everything here. I got my tarantulas over there, as I was saying earlier, on some of my live streams. They're over there. Maybe I'll try to rig that up with the camera, and then we can bring out some of this. Maybe I can grab a tarantula. You guys want to see a tarantula? Anybody? Anyone want to see a tarantula? Maybe not? Okay, whatever. Maybe do a tarot reading, a quick tarot reading. I'll try to implement that in later sessions. All right. Is that better there? So you can find that there. The Anonymous Radio Network. Oh, Jesus Christ. What did I drop over here? Oh, I dropped my paraphernalia, which means I don't know where there it is. But yeah, that area over there, even though I'm getting sidetracked over here, that is my painting area, my art area, and where I do my live streams, and where I've done my rehousing for my tarantulas and scorpion. I don't think I did my frog yet, which I gotta check on him. He's been burrowed for a while, and I gotta make sure he's doing okay. They say they can. It's a Pac-Man frog. They say that they can burrow up to a few months, so I just want to make sure he's all right. Don't need another one, another animal dying on me right now. But yeah, so you can find more there at the anonymousradionetwork.podbean.com. You can leave a critique in the chats, in the comment section here. You can message me, tell me what you thought about the live stream. Tell me what you want me to talk more about. Tell me what you don't want me to talk about. Tell me I suck. You can do all that. I'm perfectly open with that. All right. You can tell me that looks like my breast stank. You can tell me that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Actually, you guys know who Patrice O'Neal is? That's actually a line from him. uh, oh my God, I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. What up, Geico? Thanks for joining. Thanks everybody for tuning in. So yeah, there's a lot of things I could be talking about. I could tell you more about my ghost hunting experiences. I could tell you more about my theories on ghost hunting and magic philosophies and stuff. And I could just tell you about everyday life. Tell you about your furnace, why your furnace is acting up, why your AC might be acting up, why you might be getting water in your walls, moisture in your walls, or a way to paint something, whatever. We could talk about all that. Or you can come on and share your collectibles. We'll do a night where we all share our hobbies, right? You got collectibles. What else do I have here? Look at this, some Funko Pops. I don't got many. I don't have many, but I have a few. And there's wonderful Hal Jordan there, one of my favorite Green Lanterns. I actually had to redo this wall here. That's why it's bare right now, because I had to reframe all of this because we had to there's a water heater behind there, and then right behind me is the furnace. All right. So the water heater, it was already hard to get out because there's piping around there, but we had to remove the wall, and then my girl's dad said I need to push this wall closer here because the return duct to the furnace was too close to the water heater. I was like, why? Why do I need it? Because I only got like another 5 inches, maybe somewhere around there. Maybe a little. Maybe I got a foot out of there, but it was only so much. And then I had to redo the wall here, so I got this all bent up. So I had to move a lot of things. But I mean, these are the types of books I read. All right. We can get back to this. This is a much more of a appealing looking area, even though it's still kind of cluttered and whatnot. These types of books I read, type of stuff like that. I'm into comics, and this is one of my favorite little toys, actually. This is my Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. One of my favorite characters, Swamp Thing, John Constantine from Hellblazer. Any DC fans out there? Anyone know who John Constantine Hellblazer is? Look at me sharing my toy. So yeah. You got some collectibles you want to share? I'm a Transformer fan. I don't have them all here. They're actually at my ex's house in my old office, still there. They're mostly there for my son, because half that stuff is going to be worth something. It's going to be worth something, Oh, look at my little Bumblebee. Bumblebee, he was my favorite. He still is my favorite Transformer. But Rodimus Prime. Any Transformer fans out there? Rodimus Prime is one of my favorite Transformers. Even though he doesn't do much, but What else do we got? All sorts of things. Got all sorts of things here. Man. Oh, yeah. I could show you this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing that I've been working on. I haven't finished it yet. I actually did this during COVID. Besides some of the drama of COVID, I miss COVID. It was a good break. But I did this. Oh, there's a I did that during COVID. I just haven't finished. I kind of like it as is, but I do need to put more brick and stuff. I've been working on that. But I left it up there. I'll show you my Jason Voorhees mask. Oh man, now I gotta get up. I made this a few years ago, but I wore it last year and won first place at a Halloween costume contest. So these are the type of things I do besides rambling on the internet. Out of cardboard, you know. As I said, I play Warhammer, so I played the Tau army uh, and the Necron army, and then I'm dabbling into Space Marines and oh my gosh, and Chaos. I'm a fan of Chaos. Chaos philosophy. Do I have? Look at this. Chaos. The universal sign of chaos, which is just basically the universe expanding out. That's what that means. I got another bit of. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here, maybe this is better if I just do this. Right? I got that. That's actually the hydrogen particle. All right. That's what if the symbol of it looks like. That is a double meaning. All right. There's a suggestion that the hydrogen particle, is part of the expansion of the universe, and maybe we might be part of being evolved from hydrogen particles, right? And also, one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite comic book stories, Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen, he had that symbol, and he goes, if I'm supposed to put a symbol on my body, it'd be one that I respect. And my girl, she paid for the tattoo. Actually, no, I got it for free, but we tipped the guy. She tipped the guy, and that was the one I chose. I could have chose many things. I wanted tattoos, but I never really cared to get it. Like, you know, whatever. I don't think I'm ever gonna get another tattoo anytime soon, unless someone wants to pay for it. I have a couple ideas, including some sigils and some stuff, some sentimental things that I'll whip up myself. But yeah, my whole life is either around philosophy, occultism, and geek stuff. That's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about on this live stream some more as I keep doing them. Man, 80 people. Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for joining. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far, even though it's kind of random and all over the place, because that's what you're probably going to be getting. And I hope you take away something from it. I should probably go to sleep. So please, everyone, hit like, follow, whatever you need to do or you would like to do. Give me some feedback, as I was saying before. I should probably get off. I think an hour and a half is not a bad time. Plus, I got to get up in about 5.5 hours here, so I should get some sleep. And I appreciate you guys letting me, talk about these things and be on for so long. Many of you who've been up here been on for almost the whole time, and that's over. I think 40 people have been on, so I appreciate that for staying on and listening to me ramble. And again, I'm Justin. I do a lot of things, from HVAC to paranormal investigations and armchair occultist. Yeah, I'm going to try to do more TikTok lives. Follow me at the anonymousrailnetwork.podbean.com or find my stuff on YouTube at the Anonymous Rail Network. It's just as crazy as this. I haven't put a lot of time into it just because, I used to podcast a lot more back in the day, mostly paranormal stuff, and I switched over to a geek podcast, with over 100 episodes of different stuff. I had to revamp stuff, so I lost a lot of audio and stuff like that. I was on Blog Talk originally about 15 years ago. That's where I started podcasting for my LCGH research group, which is the paranormal group. It stands for the Lake County Ghost Hunters, LCGH, which is from Lake County, Illinois. I'm currently in Chicago right now, but Lake County is in northern Illinois, near the Wisconsin border. And there's tons of stories, like when I was explaining earlier about the silo that we found. That wasn't in Lake County. I believe that was in DuPage County. But I got all sorts of stories from Lake County and the things I found and whatnot. And some of them are weird, some of them are just mundane. Again, I haven't found a lot of paranormal experiences, but I have found some weird stuff with weird people, right? Like the occultist at the silo. So hopefully, you guys come back. I don't know if I'm going to be on this late again. Maybe I am usually up late, but who knows? If you guys do want to hear more, please message me. Put it in the comments and whatnot, and I appreciate it. So I just want to say good night or good morning to some of you. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next time. All right. Sad I gotta cut it, but I gotta get up early. I'm already running on fumes as is. So thank you, everyone. Peace.